discuss this with Reza Khanzadeh. He's a research fellow at the Sharif University think tank and a PhD candidate at Oxford University. He joins us from Washington, D.C. Reza, thank you so much for your time. What do you think the chances are that this new government will be able to mend relations with other nations that have traditionally been more adversarial towards Iran, and specifically Israel and the U.S.?
Well, thanks for having me. I believe the chances are just about the same, if not worse, than what it has been for the past 40 plus years. Having Raisi being the incoming president is more of the same, more of the status quo. And what we need to keep in mind here is this election speaks more to what Iran is looking at as far as the long-term process is concerned. 4, 8 years from now, 10 years from now, because the country's supreme leader, Khamenei, he controls the foreign policy. He controls many, if not all, of the policies that go through the parliament, that go through the presidency, whether it's domestic, whether it's foreign. And he currently is, I believe, 82 years old. So we're looking at this type of grooming, if you will, where possibly we could see Raisi be the next supreme leader. And again, it's going to be more of the same, that main status quo where they view Israel, where they view, I guess broadly, the West, if you will, but more specifically, Washington D.C., America, as their adversary. That is going to continue.
Okay, so you say more of the same, and where does that leave the nuclear deal talks in this regard?
Well, those are going to continue. Iran's current foreign minister, Javad Zarif, has stated that they are moving forward with this. Iran Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, he has continuously said that these current negotiations will continue. I believe tomorrow is going to be more meetings. I think they're on round 6 now. And this is going to be a push more to see if they can get this new version of the JCPOA signed and confirmed within a few weeks, if not maybe a few months. Some conversations have been kind of, reaching the surface where they being the supreme leadership, wanting this deal to go through when the new president, takes office in August. So this is more of a top-down approach, if you will, where you see Khamenei kind of taking the reins as far as this negotiation and making sure it does continue, regardless of who the president is.
And Reza, of course, this all affects ordinary Iranians who are living through a very difficult time and have done so for many years. How is life going to change for them, if at all, under a new administration?
Yeah, unfortunately, with this new administration, it's not going to change that much. And that's been shown with the very low turnout. Prior to Friday's elections, there were some who were saying it would be a turnout of, I think, in the mid to high 20s, in the low 30s. It came out to be 48, I think, is the most recent, results that I've seen. And that's indicative of what the people in Iran right now are feeling. It's not just apathy, as you've been reporting, but it's also this, I don't want to say hatred, but it's almost at that level now. Because I was in Iran last year, and doing my research and doing my interviews, and people on the ground in Tehran and specifically Esfahan, Shiraz, across the country, are tired of this government in general. Regardless of who the president is, regardless of who's doing the negotiations for the JCPOA, it's really this distrust, not just towards the West, not just towards America with the sanctions and everything, but also with their own government. And this type of quote unquote boycott, if you will, for this election is more them telling their own government, you guys need to do some serious changes, or else we could be looking towards what's going to happen after Khamenei leaves office, which it's going to be when he passes away. But it seems like right now, as far as the youth is concerned, as far as those that I've been able to interview, it's more of a waiting game for them to see what's going to happen after Khamenei leaves office. But right now, they're kind of sitting back with their arms crossed, if you will, really not holding their breath for any kind of changes, unfortunately.
Reza Khanzadeh, live to us there from the U.S. Capitol. Thank you for that. Appreciate your time.